Alright, so we're back on the beloved Titan today for a build I've been dying to test out for a while now, but I've been incredibly busy getting lost in the dark corners of time, shining my very own Vex Mythoclast. This build all revolves around the new Elemental Well mod from the season of the Splicer, Well of Ions. We all know how much Titans love to punch everything, so a mod that increases your melee damage after picking up an Arc Elemental Well sounds like a match made in Titan heaven. And you'd be right, because it is, as Well of Ions gives a 30% buff to your next melee hit, whether it's a fully charged melee or just a normal one. But to make the most out of this mod, you'll want your charged melee, and you'll want it all of the time, so let's put a build together that will let you do just that. We'll be using Bottom Tree Striker Code of the Juggernaut for this one. It's gradually becoming more popular since the stasis nerfs, and for good reason. Frontal Assault will give you a weapon stability and damage buff after hitting an enemy with a charged melee hit. This is a 20% weapon damage boost, and this in turn helps proc our major melee damage boost. Knockout is the perk we'll be wanting to proc as often as possible, as critically wounding an enemy or breaking their shield will buff your melee range and damage. This is a 60% damage boost, and it also stacks with the Well of Ions too. On top of this, Reversal of Fortune will trigger health regen on melee kills, making this a well-rounded skill tree. The super isn't to be sniffed at either, as Trample will extend its duration when destroying enemies with Fist of Havoc. An Insurmountable Skull Fort is going to turn the notch all the way to 11 with this build. Transfusion Matrix is the exotic perk, whereby arc melee kills will trigger health regen, but it also refunds your melee energy too. You can get infinite fully charged arc melees back to back with this, but you really want to benefit from both Well of Ions and Knockout to maximise its effectiveness. To do this, there's a bunch of mods we're going to chuck on, which will create an abundance of wells, creating near infinite abilities and fast super regen. Overload Well Maker is another new Elemental Well mod introduced this season, and is perfect for creating consistent arc elemental wells by simply using a finisher on an opponent. Alternatively, elemental armaments will also work just as good on arc weapon final blows. Elemental light will also create them on super final blows, helping to start the ball rolling as soon as your super ends. Remember that picking up wells will grant energy to all of our abilities too, and if you chuck on the Font of Wisdom mod, it'll boost your super cooldown as well. Ashes to Assets and Hands On will give a huge boost to super regen on both grenade and melee final blows. Impulse Recycler will help to return grenade energy quicker on grenade final blows, and Inversion will reduce grenade cooldown when collecting an Orb of Power. Lastly, we're using the Energy Accelerant mod, which will complement our weapon loadout, boosting the explosive damage dealt by Firefly, Dragonfly and Chain Reaction. As we want to create arc wells as often as possible to keep the uptime of all your abilities and of course Well of Ions to a maximum, you'll want quality arc weapons. Any arc chain reaction power weapon will do, and I've gone with the Blasper 2 from the Wrathborn Hunts. It still packs a punch, and its chain reaction roll will do double damage with the Energy Accelerant mod. But the main weapon you'll be using for consistent arc kills is Fatebringer. Yes, it's a kinetic weapon, but this role has swiftly become a favourite of mine. Osmosis allows you to turn it into an energy weapon matching your subclass type when you throw a grenade. It's the best hand cannon out there in my opinion, and with Firefly it deals huge explosive damage too. Obviously I'm stuck right bang slap in the middle of my self-imposed season of the Mythoclast, so we've got that weapon sat in here too, collecting a bit of dust to be honest. But as you can see, my Titan has fully embraced this Mythoclast meme. This build is all about maximum uptime of your abilities, with a view to mainly improving the effectiveness of your arc melee through both Knockout and the Well of Ions. You'll clear adds instantly thanks to Insurmountable Skull Fort, but you'll be able to take on bigger enemies with your melees consistently with Knockout and Ions. It's a super strong build for general play and can definitely hold its own in certain endgame content too. It opens your build for any number of your favourite weapons to use with anti-champion mods to be honest. This was just a quick peek at a fun build, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take it, use it and experiment with it. There's tons you can do, especially with a number of mods you can chop and change. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. I really don't ask for much here, but if you're new and enjoyed this one, it'd be great to see you here again for the next one. A thumbs up is always appreciated, and it helps to feed the YouTube algorithm. That's it for this one though, so on that, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.